Good morning. My name is Terry Palin, and I'm an at-large trustee on your Board of Trustees. I have a brief pulpit announcement before service begins today. Our annual congregational meeting will be held on Sunday, May 17th for the purpose of approving several things. First is the 2021 budget. Second, electing the 2021 leadership. And third, voting on a proposed change to the current Share the Plate program. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, our congregational meeting will be held a little differently this year. Informational packets will be sent out on May 3rd to all eligible voting members. We ask that you review the information and then join us at one of two scheduled town hall meetings. The first on May 7th at 6 p.m. and the second a week later on May 14th at 6 p.m. Both will be held via Zoom. The Zoom links will be included in your informational packet. On Sunday, May 17th at 12:15 p.m., a pre-recorded YouTube video will be released that discusses all elements to be voted on. Following the video, ballots will be sent via email to all eligible voters. Voting on the motion will end at midnight on May 17th. A quorum will be determined by the number of ballots returned. If you do not receive an informational packet on May 3rd, but believe you are an eligible voting member, contact Mary Wright at the church office. She can be reached at office@uusat.org or calling 210-344-4695. If you are unable to receive or send email, contact Mary at the church office and she will mail you a paper ballot. Voting results will be sent out by noon on Monday, May 18th. We look forward to your participation in this year's unique and important congregational meeting. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Miss Faith. I am one of the teachers in our Sunday school pre-K class. We are so glad to have you with us today to help light our chalice and sing our chalice lighting song. To light our chalice, I am going to need everyone's help today. You are going to hear me count to 3, and when you hear that, I want everyone to clap. By clapping, we are going to help ignite our flame that we can use to light our chalice. Let's go ahead and practice. Remember, after you hear me count to 3, you're going to clap. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Perfect, everyone. Now we can go ahead and light our chalice. All right, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Now that our chalice is lit, we can go ahead and sing our chalice lighting song. Please join me if you know the words. Light, light, light the flame, peaceful as a dove. Joyfully, 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 joyfully fill the world with love.
El amor es la doctrina de esta Iglesia.
La búsqueda de la verdad es su sacramento.
Y el servicio es su oración.
Habitar juntos en paz.
Buscar el conocimiento en libertad.
Servir a la humanidad en comunión fraterna.
Para que todas las almas puedan crecer en armonía con lo divino.
Haciendo un pacto del uno con el otro.
Each person is important to be kind in all you do. 3, we're free to learn together. 4, and search for what is true. 5, our people need a vote. 6, a kind and peaceful world. 7, be kind to Mother Earth. And that brings us back to me and you. Hi, I'm McCartney, and I'm going to read the Gandhi Peace Prayer. I offer you peace, I offer you love, I offer you friendship. I see your beauty, I hear your needs, I feel your feelings. My wisdom comes from a higher source. I honor that source in you. Let us work together.
Hi, I am Maya Meneses, and this is the reading. The great end in religious instruction is not to stamp our minds upon the young, but to stir up their own, not to make them see with our eyes, but to look inquiringly and steadily with their own, not to give them a definite amount of knowledge, but to inspire a fervent love of truth, not to form an outward regularity, but to touch inward springs, not to bind them by ineradicable prejudices to our particular set of peculiar notions, but to prepare them for impartial conscientious judging of whether subjects may be offered to their decision, not to burden the memory, but to quicken and strengthen the power of thought, not to impose religion upon them in the form of arbitrary rules, but to awaken the conscious, the moral discernment. In a word, the great end is to awaken the soul, to incite and cherish spiritual life. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sandra Gervasi, and I am a co-teacher with Ruth Castillo for the second and third graders here at FUU. This year, we used the Moral Compass curriculum. We had a great time reading stories and doing activities that helped us guide ourselves with the choices we make every day in life. The stories we shared were diverse, coming from historical, Christian, Buddhist, Wiccan sources, just as a few examples. We developed our moral compass with words such as balance, generosity, golden rule, respect, and welcoming. This helped guide us to treat others kindly, care for our planet, welcome diversity, and to have an attitude of gratitude. Today, your children are going to share a Buddhist story that we have discussed in our class about doing the right thing. It is titled The Wise Teacher's Test.
The Wise Teacher's Test, adapted from a tale, Buddhist. Once upon a time, on the outskirts of a big city in Japan, there stood an old temple from a young age of boys who wanted to study Buddhism and who would want to come live in the temple and learn from the master teacher, a Buddhist monk. One day, the Buddhist monk who ran the small temple, who decided to teach his young students a lesson. He gathered them slowly and spoke. My dear students, as you can see, I'm growing old and slow. I can no longer provide the needs of the temple. As once did. He knows I have not yet taught to work for money. And so I can only think of one thing that can keep our school from closing. The students drew close with eyes wide.
Our nearby city is full of wealthy people with more money in their purses than they could ever need. I want you to go into the city and follow those rich people as they walk through the crowded streets or when they walk down the deserted alleyways. When no one is looking, and only when no one is looking, you must steal their purses from them. That way, we will have enough money to keep our school alive. But master, the boys cried in disbelief, you have taught us that it is wrong to take anything that does not belong to us.
Yes, indeed I have, the old monk replied. It would be wrong to steal if it weren't absolutely necessary. And remember, you must not be seen. If anyone can see you, you must not steal. Do you understand? The boys looked nervously from one to the other. Had their beloved teacher gone mad? Yes, master, he said quietly. Good, he said.
Now go and remember, you must not be seen. The boys got up and quietly began to file out of the temple building. The old monk rose slowly and watched them go. Then, when he turned back inside, he saw that one student was still standing quietly in the corner of the room. Why did you not go with the others? He asked the boy. Do you not want to help save our temple? I do, master, said the boy quietly. But you said we have to steal without being seen. I know there is no place on earth that I would not be seen, for I would always see myself.
Is it?
Excellent, exclaimed the teacher. That is just the lesson that I hoped my students would learn, but you were the only one to see it. Run and tell your friends to return to the temple before they get us in trouble. The boy ran and got his friends, who were nervously gathered just out of sight of the temple, trying to decide what to do. When they returned, Master told them the words the boy had spoken, and they all understood the lesson.
Hi, I am Liam. Love is the doctrine of our church, and I can say from being here for just over a year how true that is. I look forward to coming to church on good days and bad. I feel I can honestly share my emotions with my friends and teachers. I've never felt so heard and understood. I know others of all ages can feel that love as well. Please go to usat.org to make your donation to keep the love flowing.
Hi, my name is Justine Hansen, and this is my teaching partner, Esperanza Garza Dan Weber.
We've been teaching 4th and 5th grade RE class for about 4 years. This year, our curriculum, Toolbox of Faith, explores aspects of Unitarian Universalism that help us face life's challenges.
Here are our children presenting a faith tool that is helpful to them.
My tool is my water bottle, and it represents the spirit of life.
My tool is the hammer, and it represents power.
My tool is a paintbrush, and it represents expression.
My tool is the ruler, represents rules and decisions.
My tool are my headphones, and the headphones represent listening.
My tool is the backpack, and it represents courage. Yeah, just courage.
Good morning. Thank you for attending Youth Religious Education Sunday, and happy Mother's Day. On this day, we honor the mothers in our lives. When we think of mothers, we think of lots of things. We think of gestation and childbirth, the biological functions, and we also think about caregiving and nurturing, and all the acts of sacrifice and caring that nurturing entails. Today, let us honor all of the caregivers of all genders in our lives and the many ways in which they have cared for us in body, mind, and spirit. Let us honor the biological parents and the foster parents, the adoptive parents and the step-parents. Let us honor the legal guardians and the unofficial caretakers. Let us honor the teachers, especially the church school teachers, and those who have mentored us outside the classroom. Let us honor the medical professionals who have cared for our bodies and the spiritual guides who have tended our souls. As the music plays, if you have someone you would like to honor, please write their name in the chat and maybe a short sentence about the role they played in your life. I understand that your mind might be swimming right now with thoughts of the many, many people who have made you the person you are today. I invite you to choose one or perhaps two to write in the chat and to spend the rest of your day at your leisure reflecting upon other people to whom you are grateful for the role they've played in your life. As the music plays and people write about their caregivers and nurturers in the chat, please enjoy a slideshow of some, but not nearly all, of the very special nurturers in our congregation, the parents and the youth religious education teachers and advisors. Blessed be.
This is a playlet with 4 scenelets called Why? It's the story of a little kid who becomes an adult scientist and a Unitarian Universalist, and then lives to be an old scientist. A parent and a little kid were at the beach on a nice summer day.
Look at the blue sky. It's a perfect day.
Why?
Because we won't get wet.
Aren't we going to swim?
Sure.
Why?
Because it's so hot, it will feel good to get wet.
Why?
Because it will. Goodness, the sky is getting dark. I think we'd better go.
Why?
Because it's going to rain. We'll get all wet and yucky. Let's go.
Why?
Because.
Because why?
Because I said so.
So the parent and the little kid went home. The little kid kept asking so many questions that the parent was getting very flustered and took the little kid to the pediatrician.
Morning, what can I do for you?
The little kid never seems to say anything except why and what and when and who and where. I don't think that's normal, and I'm concerned.
Well, let's have a look. Hi there, little kid. What seems to be going on?
When?
Anytime. Is anything hurt?
Where?
Anywhere.
Why?
The pediatrician turned to the parent and smiled.
I think everything is just fine. Young children ask a lot of questions, that's all.
Why?
They're curious. Also, questions are a child's way of making conversation the way grown-ups do. Very soon the little kid will say a lot more, and some of it may even be harder to hear.
Why?
Kids grow up, that's all.
When?
It differs from kid to kid.
How?
Uh-oh, I think little kids' questions may be contagious.
Why?
That's enough for now. The pediatrician was right. The little kid became an adult and a scientist. One day, the adult who'd been the little kid went to talk with a Unitarian Universalist minister.
Hi there, adult. What's on your mind today?
All the time. I have questions. At work, at home, in worship. Questions.
What kind of questions?
Big questions. Like, why do I exist? Why did my friend have to die at such a young age? Why doesn't my church have all the answers?
Because we cannot know for sure the answers to such big questions.
So why come here?
You, congregation, and ministers don't have all the answers, but we do have responses.
Responses?
Ideas about big questions that help us understand life's meaning. You, responses help us think about the mysteries of life and death, of everything.
To think about the mysteries, but not to solve them?
That's right, and that's okay. Mystery is what makes life, life. I think what would be wonderful is wonderful. There will always be big questions and mysteries.
Maybe you're right, but I have to go to work now. Thanks for your time.
You're welcome. Merry mystery and happy questioning.
So the adult went off to work. The adult who'd been the little kid went off to work in a science laboratory over and over for many years. After a few decades, the old scientist's young friend became worried that the old scientist hadn't retired.
How come you keep working, old scientist? You deserve some rest.
Because I've been trying to answer the same question for decades, and I can't rest until I answer it. What happens when you combine a thingamadooja with a what's-up-a-jig?
Oh well, good luck with that.
Then one day, success.
Eureka! I did it! Problem solved! End of puzzle! Mystery revealed!
Congratulations, old scientist. So tell me, what happens when you combine a thingamadooja with a what's-a-majig?
You get a Umagaroochit!
Wow, that's great to know. Now you can stop working.
Oh no, not yet.
Why?
Because you also get a whole bunch of new questions.
What are they?
That's the first one. What are the questions? Another is, what does a fumagaroochet do? I just started writing down the new questions.
So the old scientist, who'd been the adult, who'd been the little kid, ran back to the lab to answer these questions and create more, still moving deeper into mystery.
When you feel sad or under a curse, your life is bad, your prospects are worse. Your wife is sighing, crying, and your olive tree is dying. Temples are graying and teeth are decaying, and creditors weighing your purse. Your mood and your robe are both a deep blue. You bet that Job had nothing on you. Well, don't forget that when you get to heaven, you'll be blessed. Yes, it's all for the best.
Some men are born to live at ease, doing what they please, richer than the bees are in honey. Never growing old, never feeling cold, pulling pots of gold from thin air. The best in every town, best shaking down, best at making mountains of money. They can't take it with them, but what do they care? They get the center of the meat, cushions on their feet, houses on the street where it's sunny. Summers at the sea, winters warm and free, all this and we get the rest. But who is the land for, the sun and the sand for? You guessed, it's all for the best. Some men are born to live at ease, doing what they please, richer than the bees are in honey.
Your life is
never
bad.
growing old, never feeling cold, pulling cups of
worse.
gold from thin air.
Your
The
life is
best in every town, best shaking down, best at making mountains of money. They can't take it with them, but what do they care? They get the center of the meat, cruising on their feet, house on the street where it's sunny.
You bet that
Summers
Job
of the sea, winters warm and
had
free, all this
nothing
and
on
we
you.
get the rest.
Well, don't forget
But
that
who
when
is the
you
land
get
for, the
to
sun
heaven,
and the
you'll be
sand for? You
blessed.
guess,
Yes,
it's all for the best. Some men are born to live at ease, doing what they please, richer than the bees are in honey.
Your life is
never
bad.
growing old, never feeling
Your
cold, pulling cups
prospects
of
are
gold
worse.
from thin air.
Your
The
life is
best in every town,
dying,
best shaking down, best at making
crying,
mountains
and
of
your olive
money.
tree is dying,
They can't take
graying
it
and
with
teeth are
them,
decaying,
but
and
what do they
creditors
care?
weighing
They
your
get the
purse.
center of the meat, cruising on the feet,
I both
house on the
think
street
blue.
where it's sunny.
You bet that
Summers
Job
of the sea, winters warm and
had
free, all
nothing
this
on
and
you.
we get the rest.
Don't forget
But
that
who
when
is the
you
land
get
for,
to
the sun
heaven,
and the
you'll be
sand for? You
blessed.
guess,
Yes,
it's all for the
But you must never be distressed.
yes, it's all for the
All your wrongs will be redressed.
yes, it's all for the someone's got to be oppressed. Yes, it's all for the best.